Be proactive. Be proactive is the habit that begins the entire framework. It means recognizing that our lives are shaped less by circumstances and more by the choices we make in response to them. Many people grow up believing that events control their behavior. If something goes wrong, the blame is placed on the economy, the weather, other people, or past experiences. StephenCovey challenged this belief by explaining that effective individuals operate from a different mindset. They understand that between what happens and how they respond, there is a space where choice exists. A proactive person focuses attention on what Covey called the circle of influence. This includes the actions, decisions, and attitudes that are within personal control. Instead of wasting energy worrying about problems they cannot change, proactive individuals direct their effort towards solutions they can influence. In practical terms, this might mean preparing before a challenge arrives, accepting responsibility after making a mistake, or choosing patience during conflict. Over time, this habit builds credibility and inner stability because it replaces reactive behavior with deliberate action.
Begin with the end in mind. Begin with the end in mind is the habit of designing life with intention. Covey explained that every meaningful result in life is created twice. First, it exists mentally as an idea, and then it becomes real through action. Before a building stands, an architect draws detailed plans. Before a film is produced, a script outlines the story. In the same way, effective people mentally design the direction of their lives before allowing daily routines to take control. This habit invites individuals to step back and ask deeper questions about purpose and values. What kind of character should guide decisions? What kind of relationships matter most? What kind of contribution should a person leave behind? Covey often suggested imagining one's own funeral as an exercise. The goal was not to be dramatic, but to clarify what people would hope others say about their character, integrity, and impact. Once this vision becomes clear, it acts like a compass. It does not dictate every step, but it keeps life moving in a meaningful direction.
Put first things first. Put first things first turns vision into daily discipline. Once someone knows where they want to go, the next challenge becomes managing time and energy in a way that supports that direction. Covey observed that modern life constantly pushes people toward urgent tasks. Phone notifications, deadlines, and small requests compete for attention. As a result, many individuals become busy without actually moving closer to their most important goals. This habit encourages a different way of organizing life. Covey introduced a simple framework that separates activities into 4 categories: urgent and important, important but not urgent, urgent but not important, and neither urgent nor important. Highly effective people spend most of their time in the second category, the work that is important but not immediately pressing. This includes planning, learning new skills, strengthening relationships, and maintaining health. These activities rarely demand attention today, yet they shape the quality of life tomorrow. Practicing this habit requires learning to say no to distractions so that energy can be invested in what truly matters. Think win-win. Think win-win introduces a philosophy of mutual benefit in relationships. Many people approach interactions as if success must come at someone else's expense. Business negotiations, workplace competition, and even family discussions can easily fall into a win-lose pattern. One person wins the argument while the other leaves frustrated or defeated. Covey argued that this mindset limits long-term success because damaged relationships eventually weaken cooperation. The win-win approach begins with what Covey described as an abundance mentality. This is the belief that success and opportunity are not limited resources that must be fought over. Instead of trying to dominate a conversation or negotiation, individuals look for solutions that satisfy both sides. Achieving this balance requires both courage and consideration. Courage allows someone to express their own needs clearly, while consideration ensures that the other person's needs are respected. When these two qualities work together, agreements often emerge that strengthen trust and create lasting partnerships. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. Seek first to understand, then to be understood focuses on one of the most overlooked skills in human interaction, listening. Most people listen with the intention of preparing their reply rather than genuinely absorbing what the other person is saying. This habit reverses that instinct. It encourages individuals to pause their own assumptions and attempt to see the world from another person's perspective. Covey called this approach empathetic listening. Instead of interrupting or immediately offering advice, the listener tries to fully grasp the speaker's feelings, concerns, and intentions. This level of attention communicates respect and validation. When people feel understood, they become far more open to dialogue. Only after this understanding is achieved does the second part of the habit take place, expressing one's own viewpoint clearly. Conversations built on this principle tend to be calmer, more productive, and far more capable of resolving conflict. Synergize. Synergize represents the creative power that emerges when people work together effectively. The word itself describes a situation where the combined effort of individuals produces results greater than the sum of their separate contributions. In other words, the outcome becomes something new and often better than any single participant originally imagined. This habit depends on valuing differences rather than avoiding them. When people come from different backgrounds or possess different expertise, disagreements are almost inevitable. Instead of seeing those disagreements as obstacles, synergy treats them as opportunities for innovation. By listening carefully and combining ideas, teams often discover solutions that no one person could have designed alone. In organizations, this habit encourages collaboration between departments and disciplines. In families and communities, it strengthens unity by allowing every voice to contribute to a shared outcome. Sharpen the saw. Sharpen the saw is the habit that sustains all the others. Covey used the image of a woodcutter who works tirelessly but becomes less productive because the blade of the saw gradually dulls. Without pausing to sharpen the tool, effort increases while results decline. In life, the same pattern appears when people push themselves endlessly without investing in renewal. This habit encourages regular care for 4 essential areas of life. The physical dimension includes exercise, rest, and nutrition, all of which support long-term energy. The mental dimension involves learning, reading, and challenging the mind with new ideas. The social and emotional dimension focuses on building meaningful relationships and maintaining empathy. The final dimension, often described as spiritual, centers on reflection, values, and the search for purpose. When these areas are maintained consistently, individuals preserve the strength and clarity needed to practice the other habits effectively over the long term.